Hello, everyone's going to do a quick mic check. Is that coming through? All right. Hello, everybody. It's been a while since I ran one of these streams. We've had some other people doing some nice streams. Haas in the most recent term, and then we got Trevor, and so I thought it was time that maybe I'd run one. My computer's a little older, but we'll see how we do. Hopefully, everything comes in here nicely. If there's any problems or any issues, just let me know. I'm trying to keep an eye on the chat, so we can do that. Let me see if I can get some Rose music coming through. Audio. Let's see. Is that coming through? I can't hear it on my end because I don't have a mixer set up. Anyone hearing any music? I have a feeling not. Anyway, we can deal with that. We can deal with that later. It might just be musicless. Yeah, so you'll slowly find out that I am a streaming noob, but I'll do my best. Okay. Oh, we might have someone join in here from the team. That'd be nice. Okay. Let's just get going then. How's everyone doing? Been a while. Hey, Garden's joining me. Very nice. I thought it'd be nice to just do a little catch-up stream. It's been a while, and we've been working on stuff, mostly back-end things, so I'm not going to sit here and show code, but we've been working on some other stuff I thought would be fun to show, and we can just see the state of the alpha. I think the last time, would be the stress test would be the last time anybody kind of saw what we've been working on, but I think there's some fun things if you weren't involved in the stress test for us to go over and take a look at. Yeah, and Garnet's been working hard, and the team's been working hard, and oops, Garnet just logged out. Let me just make sure that's coming through. Hope the quality's coming along. Yeah, I still don't see. I cranked the music all the way up, but I can't. It's not coming through. Probably, yeah, it's probably my setup. We'll deal with that. Maybe if I do. Yeah, I have to set stuff up. Add an audio source or something. I don't want to spend too much time on this. It's a problem with an impromptu stream, right? Like you don't really prepare. Anyway, I'll make sure that next time we have some music. I think let's hop into it. So, not really an agenda for today. I thought we could just look at some things the team's been working on that we're happy with, and Garner will give me some ideas that we can look at. But I think one thing that I kind of want to show, it's been brought up in other streams before, but this is a pretty big one. The team, we talk a lot about switching engines, right? The Rose engine is from a while. It's pretty old, right? It actually started as a grad student's research project, and then I guess they used it for a game. But there's a temptation when you look at Unreal and Unity and nowadays Godot. You're like, oh, if we switch, it'd be so much better. And we talk about it a lot. It'd be a lot of work to switch, and the benefits might not be as much on the graphical side, but definitely on the tooling side. But along the way, we decided to think, okay, how could we make Rose just better visually? And one thing is, if you look here, I have the view distance set to the lowest. So this is the lowest. This is for like highest performance. And rows for a long time, you would be able to set it to this view distance as your max, right? But we're on Anima Lake. It's pretty big, but you can't really see that far. And one of the reasons they did this is because the performance wasn't very good, so they couldn't render everything at once. A few months ago, we decided, okay, this it's a big world. It's kind of lame, so we decided to support even bigger view distance. And so the game now can support max view distance. We can actually like render the whole map in one go, and the performance is still pretty good. Like if you have a normal computer, you don't feel the issues. Especially we fixed some issues with the camera. So there was some very old bugs in the engine where like you would, even if you weren't looking at the map, you were rendering the whole map. There's a bunch of technical stuff. But anyway, we fixed all that. So I think it makes a big difference. So like if you walk around, you can see a lot further, right? Like this is what you'd see before on Max, and this is what you see now, right? And Animal Lake's all the same. So let's run over to Junon and see how that looks in town. I think that looks pretty cool. So we're pretty proud of that work. I think improving the performance and fixing these kind of things it makes us not as motivated to switch. Oh, whoops. That was. Oh. Disconnected. Probably running too fast with those GM shoes. That's a big motivator. Like that's a big reason for us not to change anymore, right? Because like we can actually get some of the graphical quality that we want from the old engine. It's not terrible. It's really just the tooling that's really makes us sad. But the game itself, the engine itself, is not bad because of it does the job of rendering all this beautiful art, and it's really the artists who made the game great, right? So if you look, like it's a big different experience to see the whole map, and so we like that a lot. Like I can't really play anymore on this setting. Oops, that's the wrong one. I think if I reduce the view distance here, like it feels wrong. And if you even go to the smaller view distance, like it's, this is a big world. I want to see it. I want to see where I'm going. So I can't play on the old view distance anymore, and the performance is good enough for me that I prefer the advantage. Now, one thing you'll notice is like if I'm standing here, there's an NPC right here, right? Milden. I can't see him. That's a server size setting. So we have the option for you to see everything on the map, including NPCs, including like if there were shops here or other players. You could see, like we could turn it on so you see the whole thing, right? But we have to look at the performance of that for the server, because now if I'm standing here, I'll just get what's nearby, right? I don't even get, the NPCs down here. So for the server, it's like a lot less resources to have to use. But if I want everything, well, there could be like 50 players in this corner. Well, now I'll have to send that data. And so we'd have to do some kind of optimizations to improve that. But that's something that was in the stress test. We didn't really make a big deal out of it. A few people noticed it, but that's something we're pretty proud of. And for those of you who weren't on the stress test, I just wanted to make sure we show that. How much FPS am I getting? Well, let's see. I'm on a 780. So I get 40, like 50 looking straight down, Junon. Like we fix a performance thing, right? So like, if I look straight down, right, like I'm not rendering anything, I get plenty. So it just depends on how much is on the screen. So if I look through the center, it's different than if I look out towards the water, right? Here I'm getting, wait, let me make sure you guys can see that window. Yeah. I'm getting closer to 90, right? So, and I am on a release build, yeah. Good question, man. So it's for my computer, I'm running like a 4th gen Intel CPU. I'm running a GTX 780, which is like 7 years old now, I think, something like that. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good performance for me. It's almost 60 FPS, right, which is a good target. Now, people with like beastly machines, they're going to get like 300 in some places. And obviously, if we spawn a bunch of mobs, it's going to impact the performance a little bit, but baseline, it's a lot smoother. we got a lot of flack on the stress test because we hadn't fixed this yet for the stress test. So people noticed that the FPS was pretty bad. But we fixed it like a week or two right after the stress test. So uh, performance is pretty fun. Yeah, so that's a big one that we've been working on, and we always like look at performance stuff. Like even, um, like we improve performance of like teleporting in the same map. So like like it's instant now if you use a scroll or I don't know why you'd teleport inside the same map, right? But if you use a scroll or something like that, like it's instant. There's no loading screen. So we care about performance, and we try to balance our back end work with like fixing stuff like that. So I think it's important. Makes the game more fun when it's not turning up your fans and you're getting like a slideshow effect, right? So I think, yeah, that's the main like performance graphical stuff I wanted to show. I think we can talk about some of the gameplay changes. I'm sure that that's more interesting for you guys. So the one thing would be to take a look at. I'm gonna change my job here. I think this was a feature that went in a while ago, but I'm not sure how many people had the chance to take a look at it in the stress test because not many people were trying to craft things. But we did add. So if I take this skill, you'll see now we have this button here, and I can batch craft. So like let's say, let me get some materials. Tough cloth. Tough cloth. Oh, I don't know. I'll get like 150. What was the other one? Worn out. Alright. So if I do this, tough cloth, worn out leather, go. I can set how many versions I want to craft. What's going to happen, Garnet? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Where are they? Let's go find them. Lead the way, sir. Where are they? Garnet is saying that Junon's getting invaded. Oh, nice. Oh, these guys are tough. Looks like we're oh no, looks like there's something going on here. I see more over there. What's going on here? Uh-oh. Looks like we got a little event going on. So there's these automated events that happen for the seasons, and it looks like we got a little bit of a monster invasion. Yeah, you kite for me, I'll kill him. This seems to be the Halloween event. We need the quest though. We need to get some rewards for killing all these guys. Alright. Seems that we fought off the invasion. Oh, there we go. There's the rewards. Nice. Let's see what I got. Halloween grab bag. Pumpkin head item. Hey. Oh, let me put on my costume. Hey, pumpkin head. Nice. Yeah, so this was an event that the previous team had put in. It's automated, so it shows up automatically around Halloween time. I think it's fun. We'd like to do more stuff like that, some more automated events. I actually haven't done that one before. I think there must be a quest around it, but I haven't done that yet. So nice. That was funny. Let me see. All right. Let me check up on chat, make sure I'm not missing anything. Are we doing tweaks to the jam drops, or are they out completely? Yeah, there's no vital jams in this version. Yeah, okay, that's most of it. Oh yeah, I was changing my job and I was going to show this batch crafting feature, right? So before, if you wanted to craft um, an item, you'd have to do one at a time. You'd have to like hit craft, drag the materials in, hit craft, drag the materials in. So that's really kind of lame. So now we have the batch crafting. It works the same as if you drag the material in. You have to wait, for the thing. So it's not that doesn't let you craft faster, but just removes some of the manual steps. And so, you can then see how many hats you get, disassemble them, whatever. So that's a nice little quality of life feature we were able to sneak in. I think artisans will appreciate that one. I appreciate it personally. Are there plans to improve texture quality? So actually, we did do a big update to the client, and so for how long has it been? For 20 years, the game has been 32-bit, and we've upgraded all our code to 64-bit. And there's been some performance improvements for 64-bit, but like nothing you can really notice. But the main thing is that we can now use more memory. Right? When you have a 32-bit program, you can only use like 4 gigs, but then your program takes some space. So really, you can only use like 2.8 gigs or something like that. So that was always the biggest problem for upgrading textures, right? Like this texture, for example, right here, this is probably 256 by 256, and if you look, there's like a bunch of textures around. So all that adds up, and if you don't have enough uh, memory, you can't have too many textures. Or that if you double the size of all these, now you have to have double the amount of memory. So now that we're 64-bit, we can actually support like high definition texture packs. And I know there's some people who've like run these textures through like programs that upscale them and things like that. And the biggest challenge was like your client would crash because if there was too many textures. Well, now our clients don't crash. So we have some. We'd like to be able to support um, higher definition textures. I think we'd make like an HD pack. We wouldn't do it as the default just because of the performance stuff, but it's definitely something we talk about. Nice. So yeah, some upgrades to the artisan. Dealers now have a buff, right? They got the critical up buff, and then they have the where's the other one? Here the accuracy, right? So if you're a dealer, you can give your party crits, and um, you can give them accuracy. Nice little change. Yeah, we worked on a lot of stuff. We worked on a lot of stuff in the back end, so it's hard to remember what we worked on the front end as well. Our main goal is like stability. We want to release. We switched to early access, so it means we need to make sure that the game's stable. We, fix the duping. We have still some issues with like skill casting and like skill stacking, but we just want to make sure that the servers don't crash, people don't lose their progress, stuff like that. So most of our time is spent fixing those things, fixing our tools and pipelines, but we do work on uh, front end things. I think the big one is we added this quest tracker a while ago, but just this week, Monsieur Garnet finished adding all the quests in the game to the quest tracker. So now for every map, every planet, all the quests will show up in the quest tracker, and that's a huge amount of work. But that one is it's really nice to just like pick up a quest. Even the event quests will show up now. Right? So like if I grab this quest, it shows up on the quest tracker. We fixed a couple bugs in the quest tracker, so that one just a really nice quality of life thing. There's actually a lot of quests in the game. The last team, if you played Iros, there was okay like a few quests, but you didn't really do quests that much except for the ones with good rewards. But in Evo, there's a lot of quests, and having the tracker really it changes the experience when you're doing all those quests like on every planet. Yeah, Garner says there's a lot in Orlo. Like, there's if you like quests, I was surprised by how many there were actually, and you can just kind of go each zone, level up slowly. So it's pretty cool. Oh yeah, one thing we did change is for those of you who played later Evo, um, they we had the traditional gems, right? Like they went up to 10. Um, Now they added a few more of these, like tanzanite and opal, but then there were these gemstones that were added. Let's see, like these, like just jade rounds. And for those of you who played the version, remember that these used to have like a prefix, like it would be like, oh, enthralling, brilliant, something. There was a bunch of prefixes that made it pretty hard to like remember the names of these. So we didn't like that. So we removed those prefixes and we went with the normal gem naming style, right? So like, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So okay, like the pair tells you which socket you can put it in. I think pair goes in your head, like head item, and then moonstone is the stone itself, and then there's the grade. So we simplified that. It was a lot easier for us to understand that as well. Before the names were just super long, right? Like, oh, I want a enthralling opal briolette, right? Like it's just a mouthful. That was like a minor change. I think that's a good quality of life thing, so we don't have to get confused. At least I got confused. Uh, Let me see. I did jot down a few things about what I wanted to bring up. Uh, yeah, I'm just reading some chats here. No, there was no continuous crafting in NA rows. At least there was not even any code to support it. So we added that feature. Yeah, you want to go? What is? Oh, happy Halloween, everybody! These are unkillable targets. Good for, I don't know, practicing your skill timings or something. Oh, you can't even cast on it. Never mind, I take that back. Working on some item mall stuff, like code to manage it. We have the lucky spin here, but we removed the code for it. Like we just haven't updated the UI. We're not gonna have lucky spin anymore. It's basically a gambling mechanic. We don't want to have a gambling mechanic in the game. So that was removed. We just haven't removed the actual tab here. But working on some item mall code so that we can manage and update the listings and that sort of thing. So that's in flight. But our big thing, of course, is no pay to win. So it's just going to be cosmetics, and oh, you can get a coupon to change your hairstyle or something like that, right? So just cosmetic things. All right, what do you think? You want to go to? Let's go to Orlo. I don't really spend a lot of time on that. Let's go to. We can go to Muris. There it is. You can see all the way down at the end now. Super nice. It's subtle, but we like it. And I like these NPCs. Have a lot of movement, which is nice. Let's go up. Let's walk around a little bit. I'm trying to think what we've done. A lot of stuff. It's really hard to remember all the little things that we've done. Of course, our main goal is stability and performance, and ensuring that nothing crashes. Everyone's data is there, but it's fun to work on other things as well. Let's see. Oh, someone requested that I show the jump animation. Oh, my keys aren't. Oh, let's go ahead and change it. There we go. There's the jump animation. So the question was, will the changing engine support Z-axis? Well, we don't need to change the engine for that actually. We have some proof of concept code for supporting Z-axis stuff like in this engine. So It's just requires some changing, mostly on the server, because the server, like on, all right, so like on the server, even though in the game I'm on the top of this, in the server I could be on the bottom, up, down here, or up here. Yeah, so like the server doesn't distinguish like where you are height wise, the client does. So we need to update the server to like understand, the Z axis and then tell other players the Z axis and stuff like that. But we already have some code that shows that it's possible. Just requires some work to make it polished, and then it becomes a question of like, okay, what does that mean for the game? Are we going to add flying to the game or gliding or something like that, right? So like we could, in theory, have like a gliding effect, like if you walk up here. Right now, it'll just do like a walking motion like this, but it could trigger like a new animation. It's a whole new movement system, right? And then we talked about, okay, what about in the water? Do we want to support swimming, things like that? So like we can support these. We can add these features, even the Z-axis stuff. It's like it's not too much of a problem to support that. So just requires updating the server movement code. Okay, we got a question. Do we have 3 to 4 planets? We have 4 planets right now with significant amount of content. In the future, we want to start developing the next planets, but we need to build up our art team before we could do that. Start with some concept art, figure out the lore, that sort of thing. Right now, we don't have enough artists to start designing that. Is the 10-player parties working successfully? I think I'd have to double check the code. I think the 10 member party is at the max level at level 50, but I'd have to double check. I think it starts at 6 and goes to 10, but we might need to do some more testing on that. Avery BB is saying that it wasn't working in the alpha. Could there be a web interface for setting up a shop too? Yeah, we want to support offline shops. So that was the big, if you were around in the beginning during like the early discussions when we were talking about the client limiting clients, initially we were going to limit it to one client, but then for things like vending and there's still some things in the game where it is too difficult to stick on one client. We kind of settled on two, and the big one is the setting up your shop. So our first step would be to set up offline vending, and then I think we talked about it'd be nice to be able to like check your shop from your phone and that sort of thing. So that's something we'd like to work on. But the first step would be to support offline vending, which is I think pretty high priority for us within the early alpha. But before then, we have some other priorities. What are the plans for the refinement system? Oh, good question. I forgot we made some changes there. We can take a look at it. So, any news about solo player leveling experience? Most of our alpha testers. Sorry, Garnet. Like I know I have my setup is not good right now. I need like a consultant on to set up my stream properly. Yeah, I don't even have music right now. Like all they listen to is my voice. uh, so the solo experience is pretty good. You still want a cleric at some point to heal you. You can get by with like pots and stuff, but the healing is nice. Like I have a level 77 cleric that I've leveled from 1 to 77 solo. With a little bit of partying here and there. Partying, of course, is faster, but solo um, is the way to go. So we wait. What did I say? No, you can play solo, but partying is the way to go. So yeah, you can still solo, especially with the buffs. I think the hardest class to solo is a support cleric. A battle cleric can actually solo really well, but of course, a full support character should be the hardest to solo. And when you're solo, you just have to like pick which mobs you fight, right? So let's see. I'm gonna go to Kenji real quick. Mr. Garnet. Maybe I can hop on that cleric and just show you what it's like to solo on that cleric. Well, it's 77, so it's still a muse. So this is my support muse. We can just take a look at the skills real quick, right? Like just some mana recovery stuff. I have these party buffs. This one helps enhance damage. This one, it's okay. I don't use it too much. I mean, I'll turn it on, but I don't feel it too much. The recovery is more important. Mana shield's clutch. And then I have like basically all the heals, and I have some summons to help me and stuff like that. So this is a pretty strong like support tree, right? Like practically maxed out heals, maxed out bonfire, some summons. Sometimes depending on what I fight, I'll use that. And then I have, some things to help me fight a little bit. One thing is if you've played a lot of Iros, like in Evo, you need skills a lot more than auto attack. So even if you're support, having some damage output does help you solo. So normally I would say, I think I was in Kenji the last time. And you'll see it's a little bit slower on a full support cleric, right? Like this guy is gonna wreck me if I get too close. These guys are just low XP, so I'll probably fight some Crawfies. But like even like these Dunga Origins are a little tougher to fight. So like if I pop my mana shield and then drop down some bonfires, let's see how much I can take. Once you start getting, see, like it has the icon that shows more. So like it's green for me. One thing you can see that we added, and notice of course we have the HP bar at the top, so you can see the mob's HP on the screen. So I got a couple, I don't know, 5,000. Not much XP because XP rate's low, but like I could solo, right? It's not easy. I'm on a full support cleric, right? But it's doable. And if I'm more aggressive with the mana shield, I can take less damage. I just gotta keep an eye on it. We added this mana shield bar above the HP, so you can see that. But it's still a perfectly acceptable experience to solo. It's just obviously a little harder. So I'm not good on my mana shield. There we go. And Candle goes. So, like this, I'm a support character right now, and I'm fighting. Oops, I got lucky there. I'm fighting like a yellow mob, one-on-one. Not so bad. Like I'm not gonna be fighting like these stronger guys. Like if I doing a hunter, like this guy just wrecks everybody anyway. But you can solo. It's more of a grind, but it's definitely possible. And this is a full support cleric, right? Like if you're on a hawker or a knight or something, like your experience is different. And you just need more pots. You just need to be a little slower. So, yeah, I mean, we're happy to revise the party changes. Like the comment was that with the cleric changes, 10 at level 50 might be too low and things. Yeah, these are the kind of things with player feedback. We're happy to like make those adjustments. So, yeah, I do want to not forget about the refining. I'll go back to the refining later. But while we're on the solo and the cleric stuff, actually, we have changed the summons. Let me teleport here to despawn them. So actually the summons no longer auto attack stuff for you. It's a little too passive. I think we need to change it so that if they get attacked, like they won't do anything, but you can now control click and you can move your summons completely. And they're not gonna, like if I attack this Roomba captain, they're not gonna attack unless like they're not doing anything, right? And I can say, okay, no, you fight this guy. And I control clicked on the Doomba origin. Now I'm just soloing this guy. So there's still there's still like some improvements we can make, but you have full control of moving and targeting your summons. But yeah, like this is a leader, so even though it's blue, see. Yeah, so I think there's still some improvements we can make. I think it'd be cool if we could, like, okay, set this one defensive to protect me, set the other one, to attack or something like that. I think there's some more work we could do on the summons. But I personally would like a health bar on the screen, like a party kind of thing, where I can heal my summons and stuff like that. So, but yeah, you can fully control your summons. Control your summons now, and of course, like we play test. Like I play test on the alpha server. We have a dev server. I play test on there, and I play test locally. But of course, it's different when we have like our players playing, giving us feedback. Like one thing we did notice is heals are kind of weak, stuff like that. So with feedback, we can improve all these things. Yeah, that's a good comment. That if you're playing full support, you're not trying to solo anyway. But you're not. If you can't find anyone to party, you could still do some stuff. And like there are like it's nice. There's a lot of quests. Like these quests here, like this Coffee quest. You can come here and just like grind down Croffies a little bit, and it gives you a lot of money as a quest reward. Like I haven't spawned anything on this character. This is all like stuff I farmed, and 200,000. You got some quest items that give me stuff. Like like you can definitely have a solo experience. It's just gonna be a little bit slower, a little bit different than if you party. I'm about to get wrecked. The aggro on this map is nuts. Like they'll just follow you days. Like I got killed up on the docks by a Crawfie King the other day. Yeah, Garnet is asking if you noticed we added this mana shield bar, like a visual indicator. Because before you wouldn't know when your mana shield popped, except when this little icon disappeared, and you're not really staring at the top left corner when action is happening right in the middle. So we added this bar that will show you the remaining mana shield. Nice. Let me see if there's any comments I need to. I think okay. I'll look into the summons. There's a comment saying that can we look in to see if they don't leech your XP. I think that was removed already, but I'd have to double check. We can do a test. Like let me kill this crossbow. I don't know if I will be able to. Yeah, I can. Should have used a stronger class to show the solo experience. Did I fix my computer? What's the next question? So what would that give me? 4781. And let's see if I spawn some. I think this is no longer the case that they take XP, but I could be wrong. Like I haven't looked at this code, honestly. Let's see. So this one. 4781 was our benchmark. Fight this guy. You notice here we still have some minor bugs we haven't had a chance to tackle yet. Yeah, so it's like the difference was like 30 XP or something. So they don't take your XP as far as I can see, but I'll double check in the code. Oh, interesting question. So, one thing, well, I wanted to show that we now support the original Evo music as well as the original Iro's music if you just switch this toggle, but I don't have my music working, so that's a stupid comment, right? But the question was, do we support controllers? Let's see. If I turn on my controller. Wait a second. I don't know if I synced it with this computer. Oh, I can't demo. I don't think I have it synced with this computer. Let's see. Maybe check my Bluetooth settings. The answer is yes. We support controllers. Oh yeah, no, it's showing up. No, it's not showing up. Um, okay. It's synced to my laptop, that's why. But yes, we do have controller support, and if you plug in a controller, the game will detect it and switch your interface. Um, yeah, we'll show it, and I'll be prepared for that next stream. But yeah, we have full controller support. Like I have just this Logitech gamepad thing, and it works really well. The only downside is that you have less hotbar you can use, but it honestly works really well. It's pretty casual, and you can tab select. We added tab select in order to support like the controller, so I just tab selected this graph. You can see I'm like toggling through stuff, right? So it's the nice thing about the controller support is that actually made it possible to like play on the Steam Deck and stuff like that. So that was a big effort. Um, you can play on anything that has like a joystick on it. So that's a lot of fun. So good question. Sorry I wasn't prepared for that one. Yeah, here's WASD. I'm using the jump right. So you can do full WASD. It takes some adjustment, right? Like you can tab select. Um, it's a little like Rose is not built for WASD, so I can't like WASD and strafe or something. But you can still like kite, right? Like I haven't touched my mouse yet, except just to turn the screen, right? So I can still target attack, right? And I can pick that up. So it works pretty well. So we want to support all kinds of different playstyles, and so if you want to play the controller, you want to play WASD, or you want to click, it's all good. Um, let's see. Yeah, Rose on a steering wheel is the definitive experience. That'd be cool. Um, I have a secret project that I haven't had time to work on, but I want to add physics to the carts. That's my dream. That like we have full physics support for carts. But yeah, WASD is really nice for kart racing, though. It's like that would be nice. Oh yeah, so um, because we play the game, we get annoyed by things. Like I like the default camera smoothing. You see, like when you turn it, it has like a little bit of smoothing. Garnet doesn't like it at all, so he added this feature where you can turn it off completely. So you see how there's no smoothing. It just where you turn it is where it goes. But then you can also have like full smoothing if you want. Cinematic effect, like oh yeah, that's so smooth. Yeah. So I like it around here, like in the middle. I don't like it. I don't know. It gets me a little. Oh, the default is max. Yeah, I think the original game had a lot of smoothing. Yeah, I think this is probably the original. I don't mind it, but it does feel a little slow. But this is like motion sickness for me. Like whoa, like just no smoothing doesn't work for me. So yeah, we added that feature. It's pretty nice. Yeah, you can see here there's a refresh rate. I don't think it actually does anything. I don't think it actually vsyncs. I looked at the vsync code in the engine, and there's a flag that says turn on vsync, and then nowhere is it used. Like nowhere does it actually sync, but it's there. Yeah, and then we just added a couple more, features for like the skill bars are all number keys now. In the past, they were F keys, right? So the default now is number keys. I think that's a lot better. No more accidentally Alt F4ing your game. And then we added some like these are like the gamepad stuff. So like if you don't want normally when your controller is hooked up and it's turned on, it's going to change your interface. But maybe you don't want it to do that. You can like turn off the support for it. Um, and then when you're riding your cart, your controller will vibrate, right? Because you're driving a car, it should vibrate. So just little things here and there. We're just trying to improve the game a lot from where it was. So I haven't forgot about the refining question. So I'm going to switch back to that other character, Garnet, and then I'm going to go to Junon. Oh no. I crashed this. This character crashes the server. Hold on a second, I gotta relook. Some minor bugs still. It actually crashes the world server, and I just haven't figured it out. Okay. That's coming on the stream now. No. No, it's not coming through. Alright, let me see if I can fix my stream here. How's that coming? No, alright. Oh, I need to go to like streaming 101 class. See, I think I gotta switch to windowed and then the stream will. Let's see, is that coming through? There's still some bugs in the windowing code that I haven't figured out yet. That's why there, if you played the alpha, you would have seen that there wasn't a full screen option. That was why. Okay, let me try again. Alright. Should be able to see the game again now. Some bugs. Okay. Shall we take a look at refining, monsieur? So, we made some changes to refining. Not anything too dramatic, because we had a lot of plans and discussions, and do we want to change? What do we want to change? How much do we want to change? Stuff like that. And for early access, we decided to keep it simple, right? Because otherwise, you can make a lot of changes. Some people don't like max refine 10; they want max refine like 9, like Iroh. Some people don't like the Evo system. Some people do. So we said, okay. The main problem right now, if you played this version, is that like it's very easy to fail your refine. So let's try to get this bamboo spear up. Yeah, it's a grade 1. So let's do 50 of these. So the biggest problem is all our alpha testers who tried refining, and if you watch some old streams and things like that from alpha testers, the basic problem was that you would fail refining a lot. And actually, at certain grades, you would lose your item. So not only would you like fail as you go up, your item would get destroyed. And we don't like that mechanic. I don't like the idea of like you lose your item to some RNG system that you have no control over or whatever. So we adjusted the success rates and failure rates and standardized some of the things. So now we have a chart somewhere. I can see if I can dig it up. But it's a little bit easier to refine. Like your success rate is higher. But at certain levels, if you fail, it will degrade. So like if you're going from like 4 to 5, it might drop down to 3. Or if you are going from like 19 to 20, it might drop down like to 17. So it can go down 1 or 2 levels depending on where you're refining to. And so the point is that not to lose your item, but if you have bad luck, you could like degrade a couple times in a row. So we can do a couple runs and see how it looks like to refine now. Let me make sure I'm caught up. Garner said there was a good question, but I didn't see the question, so let me see if I can find it. What was the question, Garner? I didn't see it. Okay, I'm just going to run through the refine real quick because I didn't see the question. All right. So now, like you see, grade 1, 95% chance to succeed Obviously, it can't downgrade, so I got my bamboo spear to 1. 80% chance. Um, okay, cool. I'm lucky. I think in the first 5 levels or 10 levels, like it's not going to degrade. There we go. So like it failed. It doesn't have a chance to degrade at this level. So it just costs you money, fail. There we go. Bamboo spear 3. Bamboo spear 4. Nice. So it's pretty aggressive, right? If you see like, oh, 40% failure. But that's because you're really supposed to use a catalyst of some kind, right? Like I think can I use there's certain powders you can use. Yeah, so if you use like powders, it adds like 3%. Here I use 3 powders, 3%. Obviously the king catalyst is the Lysant U. So let's get a couple of those, and if I use 10 Lysant U's, like it just added 25%. Yeah, so there's still a bug where when a player is using WASD, sometimes it teleports them. We'll have to look into that. So like, if you use a catalyst, you're going to save a little more money because you increase your success rate, right? And so this is these are the old, no, these are the new rates. I'm trying to think. Did we roll that out? Yeah, we did roll that out. Yeah, these are the new rates. So the old rates were even worse because you would have to use like these Veno runes or Pluto runes or other like pay to win items to even get to 65%. So we adjusted that, and now it's like you're not gonna lose a level at Bamboo Fierce 5. So even if I just want to spend the money, like it's gonna stay at 5 until I succeed. So it's a little less punishing. Now, obviously, once you go, yeah, that's what I was saying. The rate looks still too low. So there. Let's see how far I can get. Yeah, this is the old rate. I guess we didn't push that. That's funny. I thought we pushed that in this update. Sorry for the misinformation. Yeah, so these are the old rates. So you can see that basically after level 10 in the old rate it gets impossible because look, I just lost a grade. Come on. There we go. I get to 10, to 11. All right, I'm on a roll. All right. 12, 11. You see, I'm just losing. Right, now let's try with Lysant U. Like, this is a pretty punishing system. There we go, with Lysant U. So, okay, in the old rate, like, see, yeah, this is definitely 100% the old system. You can see that, like, okay, I've got to 13, but, now there's, like, bigger risks in the higher level. You could even, like, lose your items, right? So, he's stuck on 12, 13. 14, nice. And this is like with the rarest material, right? Like 30% success. Like that's just, you gotta farm a lot to have a stack of these. But now I'm like degrading 13, 13, like 14, perfect. It's not very fun to just constantly fail. But we made some adjustments. I thought we rolled them out, but these definitely look like the old numbers. Like level 1, I think is supposed to be 100 even, not 95. 15. See, I can't get even past 15, even with Lysant U. Just like all day. There we go. Got to 16. 17. Nope. Degraded twice. Yeah. So it's, like you want to just max your items. Like I'm not saying there shouldn't be failures, but there should be some way you can control your chances, not just RNG. And I just lost my bamboos. No, I didn't. I ran out of material. So, it still needs some more work. I think we did make some changes. I thought we rolled it out. Sorry about that. But so next stream week I can show the new rates. But yeah, we did make it a little bit. So the rates are higher, but the where it starts degrading happens sooner, right? So like I think now it's like only after 13 it can degrade, and in the new system it can go down like one level starting at level 10, and it will go down one level up until like 15. So it was just a change. It was just a change, but we need to tweak it more, and it's not final for the early access. We're just starting to make some changes, get our feedback from alpha testers and stuff like that. Okay, let me get. Oh yeah, that's what it could be. I could be. I think you're right. I think Garnet in my client is not updated. That's what it is. Because I got to 15 too easily, but the numbers on the screen are wrong. That's what it is. I have to update my client. Good call. Thank you, Travelers Bad. So I'm totally not prepared for this stream. Let me just catch up on some messages. Yeah, I think these are the old rates on the screen. Yeah, that's because I haven't updated my client code. These are the old rates on the screen, but the server has the new rates. That was my oversight. Sorry about that. So what you were seeing were the old success rates, but the server was giving me different results. Good catch. Let's see. Yeah, and Rebus just messaged me, same thing, like his client is showing the correct ones. Okay, good. Nice misinformation for you guys. You have to figure out what the truth is now. So yeah, we did change the rates. I knew we changed the rates because we did it for the alpha testers. Yeah, these are the old rates, right? So like before, what you were seeing were the old rates, but the success chance, what was actually happening was the server was doing the correct one. So you see, like I actually got it to 15 in a reasonable amount of time with license use. So that's the new experience. Just visually, you saw the old numbers. All right. Hopefully that made it as clear as mud. The question is, do we think the game will be ready in 1 to 2 months? Yes. There's a 100% chance we will release this year. 100%. So once we feel confident in the stability stuff and like work through some last minute changes that we need to make, we will release. So yeah, it's really a Zuli thing because you have to buy the talisman and you have to pay to. Yeah, the max is 20 right now. The max refine is 20. So I stopped at 15 because I ran out of talisman. We can keep going if we want. Let's just buy a bunch of this. We can go see if we can get it to 20. Like we'll just ignore these numbers. So these are the old numbers. So in the past, to refine a 16, you had a 30% chance, and we changed that number. It failed. Failed. Oh, I lost 15, went down to 12. All right. So it's still hard to get it to 20. You still have to be flush with cash. Like, look, I'm spending 53K to get to every level, and it's not guaranteed. And look how many license U's I went through. I think I spawned 200 originally. Hey, 18. No. Drop 2. No, drop 2 again. So it's already like punishing enough when you lose refine. Like imagine if you lost your item. That would just be... God. Should have stopped at 18. Yeah, 15, 16, 17, 18. Ah, yes. I might stop at 18. No, I should have stopped. No. You gotta have a lot of money to refine and a lot of patience. We did talk about, adding some mechanics to make this a little bit more interesting. I don't know if I should talk about that right now because we haven't decided on it. Oh, I think I'm gonna stop at 18. I'm not a gambler. That's pretty good. Look at this OP sphere. So if you played Iros, you might notice that like the durability didn't go up. That's because in Evo there's a different mechanic for that. So if you want to increase your durability, you have to reinforce it. So that will increase the durability. I don't have the reinforcement powders. And you can get the durability all the way up to 100. So that's like independent of refining now. At first I was like, what the heck? But I kind of like it now actually, because like if you don't want to waste money refining, but you don't want to have to keep coming into town to repair your stuff, like it can be worth it to just up the durability. Okay. Yeah, so 20 is max. Is there an ETA on name reservation? The name reservation system's ready. We could release it, but I think as a team, we feel it's more respectful to the players to release the name reservation when we have a launch date. You know, we don't feel comfortable saying, "Hey, reserve your names," and then the players not knowing when to. Come on, Garner's full troll mode. Um, yeah, so we want to have the date, and then we'll release the name reservation at the same time. So that way, if we feel it's more fair. Yeah, the downward progression, it's better than what it was. Like before, you could lose your item. Like you could just be gone, and you could just break it. So, um, I think there's some things that we still wanna tweak it, but we're not gonna overhaul it to its core. No, license are not the main item anymore. You need talisman, bind runes, and apotropes. So, what are those different grade talisman for? So, like, if you look at items, each item has a grade. So this is item grade 1 compared to like this is like an item grade. Oh wait, no, this doesn't have an item grade screen. No, it's item grade valor. You can't refine it, I think. I'm trying to see if I have a higher level item. No, I just have all these item wall things on me. Oh, here you go. Like these rings, like the earrings here, like item grade 8. So you you use a different refining material for the different item grade, and they have like different. Right, so if you're grading refining for like a fourth grade item, you'd use this. You used to lose your item from refining, but you can't anymore. All right, Rebus hopping in with some facts. 220 attempts to get to 20, which is tedious, but it's not so bad, right? That's like 2 stacks of License U. Like, we've got to have sinks for something, right? And it rewards you for having a 20. Yeah, I agree that the mechanic's a little boring. That you just click and you know just keep clicking, but we don't really have any plans right now for a new mechanic. Yeah, some of these questions are being asked. There was a question about low essence. Essence are no longer for refining, and no, they're just for gem crafting. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I think I'm all caught up on the messages. Sorry about the fake stats there. So, there we go. What else? I wrote some stuff down. What else can I show real quick? We showed most of the visual stuff. Most of the other work has been in the back end. We have there has been some changes on some faces, female character faces that needed some improvement. I think my client's not updated, so I should have haven't updated in a while. I mean, I can update it, but if we can look at some of the old ones, let's look at the old ones. We can look at the old ones. So, like, some of these faces are better than others. You know, start getting up in these higher numbers. Some that, we just. This is actually a new one, I think, or we edited an old one. Or is it this one? I can't remember anymore. They're inconsistent, like the styles and stuff like that. So we have some people on the team who are making some changes, make some nicer faces. I think this is the new one. We did this gray eye. One of the gray eyes. This is a Halloween face. I don't know why it's showing up here. So, yeah, like they're just not as consistent now. The faces are okay, like they're not the worst, but then once you start looking at the hairstyles, and things get a little. This one's okay, and then you get this one's okay, and then you start to get like this is an interesting one. I don't know what's up with this. It's like a helmet. This is a crazy hairstyle. Like some of these where there's already work on, like, what is this, like Wolverine? I have not seen anyone pick these. Like, it just doesn't match some of the other hairstyles, right? Like, this one's nice. I like this one. This one's like, it could have been nice, but it's just like, need a little bit more attention. And then this one's a funny one. I think that you can wear this one on the male as well, I think. That's like intense. This one, there's the Wolverine hair. So some of these are just like, I get what they were going for, but they're a little odd. This is like a melon pan from Japan. So there's like, it takes time to like redo these things, and so Mary on our team has been working on one hairstyle for a while, but it takes time, like to do one, like hours, right? So it'd be nice to update all those over time. Yeah, I think J Rose has some good hairstyles. Yeah, bowl cut. We did have a Karen haircut actually in the designs, like one of the mocks. I'd have to dig it up. Yeah, we had a Karen face too. So that was the refined change. I think it still needs some work, needs some, the main thing for us is like we need players to play to test, like, okay, how realistic is it to get licensed U? Like, how much licensed U can you spend? Like, are people going to refine their lower gear and stuff like that? So we need player feedback to make those kind of big gameplay changes, and that's why we're kind of holding off doing those until early access. And I just noticed a funny bug. If you look in the top left of the screen, the flag gets rendered on top of this. So yeah, we want player feedback. Like, I think that's one thing as like a dev team. Like, we can know the game on a technical level, and we can play it and we can play test. But at the end of the day, player feedback is going to be the most important way for us to choose like direction on things, and then also just collecting data on players, right? So like we're gonna have some metrics and things and know what everybody's doing. So, oh, the shadows are there. Artist says he's contemplating Junon Mountains on the background. Yeah. For me, they're just too small. Not very big. There was a question that I was going to answer, and oh, the shadows. So the shadows stood there, and actually we only just this week figured out how to reproduce it reliably. So The bug is, if you see, let me go into walk mode. It's like if you go out of the distance of the character, where you see the shadow, like when you're a certain distance, they get these like super long shadows, which is like probably like the boundary of some calculation, but we just haven't figured out like why would it happen on this? Only on this distance. If you're like exactly this far away from the mob, their shadows messed up. If they're closer, if they're further, they're fine. If you're exactly this distance from the mob, they have these really long shadows. And it only showed up once we changed like the view distance stuff, which was probably like we changed some camera settings and things like that. But that's a tricky one for show. Oh, are the sound effects loud? Wait, how come the music's not coming through then? It was just it was just not like over. I can't tell us how loud it is on for you guys. Well, I'm glad you guys had an hour of no music. I apologize. Is that coming through? So I don't know if it did. So you can see it's coming from. Oh, is it really? Yeah, I can see it. It's Misc. I gotta fix that. But while we have a little music, you see this is the where they changed it to an Evo, and this was. So you can pick whichever one gives you more nostalgia. Yeah, because I think my microphone was picking up the music. I don't think it was coming in on my audio. Yeah, I think the mic was just picking it up from my headset. That's what you get when you have an old system like me. What do you think, Garner? Did I miss anything? I'm just going through some highlights of stuff we've been working on. I mean, I could. Some days I wish I'd be like, hey, do you want a code tour? I'll just show you all the code and 3ds Max and art stuff we've been doing in the background. So much stuff. Okay, there's a good question about UI. We embedded a new UI system. You see there's a small little bug with it right now. It does this weird thing. But we just haven't prioritized converting the UI system. So this is, we want to support like themes so people can customize their UI. Right now, like all the UI are just actually like images. And so it doesn't even have like scaling. We don't scale these or anything like that. But this is uses like web technologies, older ones like CSS3 and just HTML5. But like you could then just write your own CSS and style the UI you want. But we deprioritize this work because we would have to like convert all the UI to this system. But we embedded the library, and then we have this weird bug where it likes to draw one pixel all the way in the corner here. But yeah, we want to support that in the future. I think the main reason we want to do that library is to support scaling better, and we'd be able to support like vector graphics for the icons and things like that. But we just have that's not our priority. That's not going to block us from release, and we want to release first, get the game going, get people playing, and then we can focus on stuff like that. Like Also, I did some research into what it would take. The game right now runs on DirectX 9, what it would take to get it on DirectX 10 and then 11 and then maybe other, things like that. So there's all these like things we want to do, and it's just we have to prioritize. And we decided to prioritize to get people to play the game. Yeah, if I showed you the code, if you even could read code, like if you're a programmer, you would still scream because there's a lot of technical debt in there. So, oh yeah, good question. I saw that came up in the general chat the other day. So right now, every player gets this, like, gets these stat and skill reset that they can use at any time. I think our current plan is probably we're going to leave it as is when we launch and then figure out how we want to deal with that later. But we don't want, I think players should be able to reset their stats and their skills um, nearly any time they want. But yeah, exactly. We'll probably put like time limits on it and things like that because the one area would be like PvP. People might like quickly change their stats, go into PvP, change them, like things like that, which I think would not be good. Um, but right now we'll leave it as is, but we'll probably like just increase this cooldown or something like that. Um, but in general, we want resets to be available, and also we probably will remove it from this item mall tab because I don't think we're gonna keep item mall skills. So this is an extra tab that we don't need. Oh, look at all these! I forgot about the clan skill system. Nice, and I did give us a lot of clan points. Just a few. Nice. Mount movement speed. That's clutch. Hey, found a bug. Garnet, why did you not fix that yet? Actually, there's a few bugs in our clan code that. See, there's like little things like this are what's stopping us from releasing. Like, we don't want players to like, oh, play the game, hop in, create their clan. They're like, oh, I'm gonna like get a clan skill, and then they crash, right? Like, that's not a good experience. And those are the kind of things that would block us from releasing. Yeah, Garnet's giving me a hard time because I forgot all the bugs. I forget everything. Garnet tells me things every day, and I forget what he told me. Just a few clan points. Yep, farming these for days. So yeah, I think the takeaway is we're working on stuff. It's mostly stuff like this, right? Like the clan skills not working. Um, we have another bug like updating the clan emblems not working, stuff like that, right? So um, they like maybe change up this system a little bit. There's things that we need to clean up and polish up on the server, on the data backend, stuff like that. Like right now, if the server crashes, you'll get like your character will get rollbacked a little bit, but your items won't. And that creates like a weird thing where like your stats and skill points don't line up. And so unfortunately, we're kind of in this part where the things we have to work on are a little bit hard. It's slower to work on. So um, it just means that in between updates, there's just not a lot of like exciting things to share. Like, oh yeah, look at the big refine change we made. It's like, well, most of the stuff we're doing is like code related, like cleaning up stuff, fixing up bugs. It's the last items you do before release, polishing basically. So I think no matter what we're gonna release this year, our bug list is actually pretty reasonable, and inevitably there's gonna be bugs we missed and things like that. But we're going for the game breaking bugs, the ones that would impact people's play, and then on the server side, just the stability things. Like we don't want the server to crash when people change characters. We don't want stuff like that. So I think on that note, it's a good place to stop the the stream. Just wanted to check in with everybody, show some stuff, show that we're still alive, working hard. Um, Big thanks to our Ko-Fi supporters. They get, pretty regular updates. But um, for those of you who are not on there, I think we wanted to show a little bit what we've been working on and that sort of thing. So this is last chance for any questions. Other than that, yeah, I'll answer any last minute questions and I'll wrap up here. Are you going to have any of the marriage system in the game? I think long term a marriage system might be interesting, but one that gives you like a permanent boost or a buff, I'm not sure. We haven't really talked about it at all, honestly. Do we have any idea when you may be able to share an early access release date? I think once we tackle some of the major bugs that we know of, then I think we'll be more comfortable picking a time. I mean, ideally as soon as possible, but it might be in December. Is more realistic. End of November might be really nice, but we don't have a date in mind, and it's hard for us until we fix. Like we have some stuff we're working on that we don't know. We don't know how long it'll take to fix that until we do it. Raven, yeah, we're running 64-bit everywhere. All our tools, all the servers, everything's on 64-bit. Client, the engine. At 100% there'll be a launch. Early access will be in 2022. If we're good and we fix all the bugs fast and get everything we want to get done, it will be sooner than later, right? But we will 100% release. Cool. On that note, thanks for everyone joining. Hope got you excited about what we're working on, and I hope we can, now that I can stream again, I think, and some of the team I've talked about, I think we'd want to host some events and that sort of thing. It just takes some planning on our side, but I think it'd be nice to get some people hopping in and trying some stuff, test some PvP, that sort of thing. So our main guy Haz, he was doing a lot of streaming, so I've been talking to him about maybe doing some stuff. It'd be nice if we can get some of you just doing some events with us before we do release. So stay tuned for that, and keep reminding us about that, and we'll get on it. Thanks all. See you later.